Hello, 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 beautiful unicorns. Yana Kasperczak coming into you live from Ontario. And as your spiritual awakening core energy coach, it is my soul's purpose to help you get your shit together so you can break free from the mental prison that you find yourself in. So that way you can build a fulfilling life, business, job, or career. And today, to help you do that, the and these live stream videos that are titled Get Your Shit Together with Yana Kasperczak, weekly live guidance, where today I want to talk about a topic that has been asked to bring up by Rebecca. So thank you, Rebecca, for bringing this topic to me. And the topic is what does discipline and consistency have to do with joy and fulfillment? So Rebecca wanted me to talk more about discipline, and it was quite broad in terms of what discipline is, but as knowing what this community is about, this Facebook group, Heal the Unicorn, emotional healing and spiritual growth for women, the first thing that came to mind to me when this topic was brought to my attention, topic of discipline, is that discipline is the highest form of an act of self-love any one of us can do or have. So that means that when you say you want to do something, that you're disciplined enough to keep word to yourself because you love and value and cherish yourself enough to not lie to yourself and end up not doing what you say you want to do, so that you would be disciplined enough to do those things that you say you want to do. And the next thing I want to mention is that this is also the opportunity to start recognizing that those things that you say you want to do, the very reason why you might not be doing them is because there's a part of you that wants to do them, but that's not, and it's not the part that is you. It's the part that you're trying to be someone for someone else. Meaning that the things that you say you want to do are not the things that you, the true, authentic you, actually wants to do. That it is someone else that wants you to do those things for them, or that it's some kind of an expectation that you have of yourself, that in order for you to be happy and joyful or to feel fulfilled, that you must do this and this and this and that. And taking that time to sit with, so here's a perfect example. If you say you want to make the bed every single day, because this is one of the things that I struggled with, and I am a stubborn person, I am a Taurus, and somebody tells me to do something, I don't like being told what to do. But at the same time, I'm such a good girl that I will do what is being asked of me to do with certain things, while with other things, because I sense that it's so important to someone else, and I'll do it for them, while with other things, I am reluctant or resistant in doing them, because that means that I'm going against myself. So with something like, as an example, making the bed, and I want you to actually feel free to share in the comments, what are those things that you want to be disciplined and consistent with doing every single day, or every single week, or every single month. But let's go with every single day. Share with me, what are those things that you want to be doing every single day? And write a list. You can continue writing a list after, whether you're watching on replay or live. You let me know if you're watching me live, if you're watching a replay, and feel free to share where you're coming in from as well, so I know where my audience is a bit more. And also, I would love to see how many of you watch on replay versus on live, so I can get an understanding of how many people prefer the live and how many prefer to watch the replay. And we all have our own preferences. Some people love watching the live, while other people love watching the replay. So let's go to this example of how I was working through the making the bed. Initially, it started with my husband was raised making the bed every single day. For me, I always felt like I had to make the bed, or I had to do this and I had to do that, that it didn't feel like a choice. So I didn't want to make the bed. So I didn't make the bed for years and years and years. I actually started making the bed every single day, and it became a form, because discipline and consistency, they're similar and yet they're not identical. Consistency is something that you're doing every single day. Discipline is something that you say you're going to do. You're going to be disciplined enough to actually go and do that. It is the most powerful act of self-love. So when I, where do I go? To the beginning. So when I was being asked, make the bed, make the bed, make the bed, as a child, as a teenager, and then as an adult, after we got married, my husband loves, he's a clean freak. Okay, so I'm not gonna beat around the bush, and I love him for it. He helped me to become much more structured because of his want and need. For him, it is a need to have clean environment, and for me, it became a need when I started to recognize how, and it's not to say our house was ever messy or dirty or anything like that. It always has been clean and tidy. I just needed to figure out my own resistance with it, and see what's in it for me, and make it my want and not somebody else's want. Not do it because somebody else wanted me to do it, but do it because I wanted to do it. It needed to be my choice. And the same thing happened with making the bed. Just because somebody wanted me to make the bed does not mean I was going to be making the bed. What made the difference for me is personal development. Learning the effects on such small acts, such as making the bed, how that becomes, I can train my discipline, I can train my consistency, I can train my focus muscle by simple act of making the bed. I can train my my clarity as well. I can remind myself that I love myself, because discipline is a form of love. And I say I want to do this because there's something in it for me. And it's a confidence boost as well, that by doing this small little thing, I feel confident, right? You have a morning routine. And when you do that morning routine, you feel good. You feel like you have accomplished so much because you have done that. It's like a bookend to your morning, and then you would have a bookend to your work day, and then you have a bookend to your work day, and then your day. So for me, this is my bookend to start my day. And I have been very disciplined and very consistent with making the bed before a certain time of my morning. And the same thing goes for brushing teeth, getting dressed, putting makeup on for the day, tidying the kitchen if there is anything else left to tidy. Typically, that's another thing that I have been becoming so much more disciplined with. And I say becoming because there are some evenings where I don't feel so great, and those are far few in between at this point. Whereas I used to go to bed and the kitchen would be messy, and I'm waking up to a messy kitchen, and it was just understanding how the human brain works, especially women. We women, we struggle to focus in a cluttered environment, in the messy environment. And there is something about having a clean kitchen to wake up to in the morning that I can't fully describe, because I don't know, I don't have the words for it at the moment. But I know there's also science behind that as well, where you already feel like you've achieved something without having to go and achieve it. And then at the same time, you have a lot less to do. So with discipline and consistency, they are foundational, what do you call them? Stepping stones. I had a dream last night about new paved backyard with stones, really nice stones and bricks, and it was nice and it was fresh. And that's what discipline and consistency is. For some of you, today might be the day where you start to really rewire your mindset when it comes to these things that you want to do. And also recognizing if somebody's asking you to do something, like I was talking about the bed, I recognize that for me, it was, I didn't want to do it. And I knew that there was going to be a benefit to it. But in order for me to choose to do it, I needed to come to the decision on my own without being coerced or without being told what to do or without being talked into it. And it needed to come from within. And that's how all of us operate. All of us, the things that we actually follow through on doing are the things that we actually want to do, because it comes as an internal need, an internal choice. So it is the mindset as well. The biggest part is the mindset. So my mindset has been reset to, there's so much more choice behind making the bed for me, whereas previously there was no choice. And the need and the desire, there's so much more attached, and the meaning behind it. It became a very clear act of self-love and self-care for me, making the bed. So discipline and consistency are those foundations that we each set for ourselves. And taking the moment to recognize those things that you want to do, you say you want to do them, are they coming from someone else, or are the things that you want to do, and why don't you want to do them? And recognizing that what's in it for you, because even if it comes from someone else, that somebody else wants you to do it, and it might be something in it for them, but you're not doing things because you're living your life. Your life is for you. Yes, you might be living it for other people, but realistically, you are living your life for you. So if you're not living your life for you, you're not going to be feeling joyful, and you're not going to feel fulfilled, because you're not living for you. You're living for everyone else. Temporarily, yes, you will feel happy when you're doing things for other people, when you're living your life for other people. Temporarily, you will. But it'll come a day and a point, or a point or day in your life where you are not going to feel happy with living your life for everyone else. You're not going to feel fulfilled by giving and giving and giving to everyone else. You're meant to be living your life for you. So even if somebody comes in and tells you this is what they want you to do, there very often is something in it for you. And that's why it's being brought into your current existence, into your present moment, and to your attention, that there might be something in it for you. So sitting down and figuring out what's in it for you in that act, in that task, whether it's a daily one or a weekly one or a monthly one. And when you start to recognize that there's something in it for you, then the choice becomes so much easier for you to do it. And when you recognize there's absolutely nothing in it for you, it's just going to be a drain and not a gain, or at least for now. Just because I learned the the gains of me making the bed does not mean I became instantly disciplined and instantly consistent with doing that. It took me some time to, flip-flop, as we all do, meaning that doing it and then not doing it, and then doing it and not doing it, and recognizing how I feel when I make the bed, and recognizing how I feel when I don't make the bed. So that's why at this point it became a choice that I am not consciously making anymore. It's at this point, it's a subconscious choice where there's no resistance with making the bed. It is just a desire to make the bed, because I flip-flopped enough to know the difference, that I feel amazing, I feel great when I make the bed versus when I don't. Same thing with brushing teeth. I went through a very dark time in my life where I was not taking care of myself at all. I wasn't getting dressed. I wasn't doing my hair. I wasn't definitely not doing my makeup. I wasn't brushing my teeth. I wasn't taking care of my external appearance for me, because I came to a realization that I was doing it for everyone else and I wasn't doing it for me. So, and I, went through the whole entire flip-flopping of doing it, not doing it, doing it, not doing it, to come to a point in my life where it is an unconscious choice to do it, because to me, that's discipline, that's consistency. And those are the ultimate acts of self-love, because my mindset behind each and every action is different than what it was before. So with discipline and consistency being the foundation of how you're going to be living your life, whether you're going to be a happy life or going to be a sad life. Because when we're not doing the things that we want to do, and if we're not doing the things that we say we want to do, then ultimately we are going to feel bad. We're going to feel like a failure. Why? Simply because you say you're going to do something, you don't do it, you failed at doing it. And that's why you feel like a failure. That's where the flip-flopping comes from as well. We need to flip-flop enough times to come to a decision, to do it or not to do it. Do I feel better doing it, or do I feel better not doing it? And then deciding which way you want to go. The choice is yours and nobody else's. And you wouldn't want that choice to be anybody else's. You want that choice to be your choice, right? And in order for that to be your choice, you got to figure out what you actually want yourself, for yourself, and not what everybody else wants from you. I'm a little distracted at the moment because I just want to make sure that I don't see the comments on here. Hey Lisa, how are you doing, beautiful? Lisa says, I'm trying to get better to act on very first message my mind is telling me. It usually comes back to woulda, shoulda, coulda. There was something about the first message that I heard a while back, that the first message is not necessarily the one that we're meant to act upon. It is just an opportunity for it to be brought to the surface and to recognize, is this what you want to do or not? Just because it comes first does not mean that that is exactly what you're supposed to be doing or acting upon. It is just an opportunity for you to go within and reflect. To also, like I was talking earlier, to decide, is this what you want or is this what you don't want? Is this something you want to do right now, or is this something that is okay or more meant for doing later on? It's just an opportunity to know yourself a little bit more. And some people will say that the first thing that comes to mind is usually an intuitive hit or an intuitive thought, but the opposite could also be the truth. And this is for you to figure out what it is, that it might be just coming from the ego. Just because it came first does not mean it's an intuitive hit or an intuitive thought. It could be coming from the ego. And because it comes from an ego doesn't mean it's bad, it doesn't mean it's good. It just means it's an opportunity for you to go within and see, maybe it is coming from the ego, because that is where you need to do a little bit more work. and figuring out what and why for you. Hey, Rebecca, how are you doing, beautiful? She said, Rebecca says, how late am I? I don't know if it shows the minutes for how long. I would say about 20 minutes late. Maybe actually a little bit less, because I went to the bathroom before hopping on here. Otherwise, I would have just beat myself. TMI, but hey, we're all humans. We all go to the bathroom. We are talking about the topic that you brought to my attention, discipline. And the title is, what does discipline and consistency have to do with joy and fulfillment? So feel free to rewind and rewatch. You can rewind now, but we'll watch the replay in the beginning part, because there's quite a bit in the beginning part that I was talking about, and the role of discipline, the role of consistency that really helps us to live the life that we want, and taking the time to identify if this is what we want or if this is what we don't want, and where is it coming from as well. Now, here's how the discipline and consistency mishmash, how they work together, how they coexist together, how they intertwine together, how they are one and the same, and yet they're a little bit different, but they're one and the same. Consistency is something that you're doing consistently. If you say you're going to do this every single day, you're going to do this every single day. If you say you're going to do this every other day, or once a week or once a month, that you're going to be consistent with doing that. And discipline is that, and some of the parts of the discipline I'm still working on myself. So another example with discipline is that if I say I'm going to go live at 11:30 a.m. Eastern time for this, for pretty much all my live videos that I do, the live videos that I do on my own, that I would be disciplined enough to start them at 11:30 exactly. And if I don't start it on time, then this is where I'm going against what I say I'm going to do, and I'm not being disciplined enough with that. So that's the part that I'm working on. But the other parts that I've already worked on is making the bed, brushing my teeth, doing my hair, getting myself ready for the day before 9 a.m. every single day. Another part that I'm disciplined and consistent with is going through my notebook and planning the day for the day, what I'm going to be doing that day, and then taking things from the previous day to the current day. And then so on and so forth. As I was talking about on the live last week, I believe, and I shared my notebook, and I showed you ladies how that helps me, to really get my shit together and stay with it. So, achieving goals. I have 7. I wrote down 7. 7 intersections or interceptions of discipline and consistency, and how they help you to experience joy and fulfillment in your life. The first one is achieving goals. Discipline and consistency are key to achieving goals, whether they are related to personal growth, career advancement, emotional growth and evolution, or health and wellness. By consistently taking action and staying disciplined in your efforts, you move closer to your aspirations, to your goals, to your dreams, which bring a sense of accomplishment, fulfillment, and joy. So if you decided to work towards a specific goal, and also the reason why many of you are not working towards your goals is because there's lack of clarity on what you want, or perhaps it's not a goal, it's a dream, and it doesn't feel attainable because you've never experienced that. And then just moving it to the dream list versus the goal list helps you to set up a whole different process of how you're going to get there. So when you say you're going to do something and you want to achieve this goal by this time, by this date, you need to make sure you have things in place and that you're disciplined enough to show up for yourself every single day and work on what you say you're going to work towards achieving that specific goal. Another reason why you might not be achieving those goals is because you have too many of them. And that's a different conversation about when it comes to lack of clarity. When we have too many goals and too many dreams, we cannot focus on anything because there's too many opportunities, there's too many options. And as great as it is, it has quite a few negative effects on you and your well-being, on your growth and evolution, whether it's in personal life or in business and career. That if you say you're going to do this, then you need to be laser focused on doing and achieving that one specific goal, that one specific dream, and not 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 100. One, you work towards one, laser focus, like a horse has the blinders. You got to figure out what you need to do in order for you to have those blinders. And what that is for all of us is the mindset. Narrowing it down, figuring out, this is what I want, why I want it, why I'm driven, why I'm excited, why I'm motivated to do this one thing every single day consistently until it becomes a normal thing for me, until it becomes an unconscious act or an unconscious behavior for me. And until you have that down pat, don't move on to the next thing. You want that to be as easy as breathing, or as easy as you wake up, you brush your teeth, you get ready for the day, you make your bed, and then you go on your merry day, right? Or merry way. So the second interception is building confidence. As I was talking earlier, by making the bed, and such a small act that the reason why I wasn't doing it is because my mindset, my stories of time, or I am too tired, not disciplined enough, that I don't love myself enough to go and do that because I'm too tired. But when we love doing something, we're never too tired for that. And so for me, it was coming from, I don't have time for this. Meaning I don't have time for myself to do the thing that I'm going to feel good at doing. So building confidence. When we consistently show up and put in the effort to pursue our passions, our goals, our dreams, or work towards our goals, we build confidence in our abilities to achieve and accomplish those things. The sense of self-assurance brings about a deeper level of fulfillment and satisfaction in our accomplishments. We feel proud, we feel satisfied when we do what we say we want to do, when we show up for ourselves, and when we decide to be disciplined with this one thing that you want to do every day. And then do that every day. Even if it means, so an example, back to the bed example. I said I wanted to be disciplined. I didn't start off with being disciplined. By this time, I'm going to make the bed. No, for me, it was make the bed every day. Meaning that by the end of the day, if the bed is not made, I will still go and make it. Even if it's just for 5 minutes before we go to bed, the bed is made and I did it. Just starting off with, I want to do this every single day. And I want to make sure that by the end of the day, which means at midnight, which, sometimes might mean staying up and then making the bed and then going to bed, that by the end of the day, I will make the bed. And of course, if I don't, then I would feel like a failure. And this is where I was flip-flopping. And until I decided, yes, I'm going to make it every single day. And I made sure I was making it every single day. And I still do. And it's been almost a year at this point. I don't keep track of these things. I don't write down when I started it. I just know I've been doing it for a year, maybe even a bit more than a year at this point. That's why it became part of who I am at this point. So the third thing, interception, to help you identify why discipline and consistency are the things that you need in your life to live a fulfilling and a joyful and a happy life, is creating habits. That you get to create habits that you have always wanted or needed. Discipline and consistency help us to establish positive habits that contribute to our overall well-being and happiness. All of us are creatures of routines and our habits. Each and every one of us. We thrive when we know what's coming, when we know how our day is going to go, when we know what to expect. And we feel uneasy when there's a lot of unknowns. So by creating healthy habits, creating healthy routines, it allows you to have structure. It helps you to have these bookends to your morning, to your work, to end of work and end of day. When your kids were little, what were you doing with your kids? For us, for example, we had a routine for bedtime. It would be bath, and then it would be reading, it would be book time, and then bedtime. Now, quite a few of those things changed because we have fallen out of routine, fallen out of those habits, because kids have changed, they have grown up, and there was a lot of changes happening in our life. And to be quite honest, having gone through really, really, really dark time of my life, that caused me to shut down and not really be available for my kids in the way that I wanted to. So creating habits, whether it's practicing gratitude, exercising regularly, or pursuing creative endeavors, maintaining consistency in these habits enhances our sense of fulfillment and content. Now, the fourth is it teaches you how to overcome challenges. Because the first challenge you overcome is setting these new things that you want to do, this new disciplines, this new consistencies that you want to put forth in your life. It teaches you to overcome yourself as the biggest challenge, because all the challenges in life, the biggest part of the challenge is yourself, is your mindset, is how you view and perceive this thing that you're doing, this thing that you are about to take on. Whether it's a habit, whether it's a new venture or adventure, whatever it is, or a new decision or a new goal or a new dream, whatever it is, that the biggest challenge is going to be yourself, not the actual challenge itself. Because the actual challenge itself is neither good or bad, it's just a challenge. But yourself is the one that holds all of the stories, all of the interpretations, all of the thoughts and feelings and emotions that are associated with that particular challenge or opportunity or a problem or a block, however we refer to it in our minds. Life is filled with challenges and setbacks, but discipline and consistency enables us to perceive them in a positive way and to persevere, to overcome them during difficult times. By staying committed to our goals and values, even when faced with obstacles, staying committed to them, even when it's hard, even when it's almost feels impossible, we cultivate resilience, we build strength, we build inner strength, which ultimately leads to greater fulfillment. Number 5, I'll go through them quickly. Let me actually take a peekaboo if there are any comments. Okay, here we go. Rebecca said, I'll rewatch the beginning. Awesome. You're welcome. Sorry, I was doing homeschool stuff and was in the middle of something. Oh, no worries at all. You don't need to apologize. I know you're busy, mama, and you got your own things, and you're staying disciplined and consistent with the things that you're doing, that you have decided that you're going to be doing every single day or every single week. And Rebecca said, I've been working on discipline for years. Challenging for me after awakening. Great to hear that you've been working on it for years, and hopefully this video brings you closer to, that's something that we work our whole entire life, because there's always going to be new challenges, new opportunities, new things that we can try, that we get to choose to want to be disciplined and consistent with it or not, and why or why not. So continue to work on that lifelong journey. It just becomes much easier, and hopefully this video helps you to get that much closer to being less resistant to being disciplined, to being consistent with the things that are important to you, that you choose to do, and start to identify things that are for you and things that aren't for you. Rebecca says, I know how to hustle, but I'm suffering when I hustle. I don't know how to be disciplined while maintaining calm and presence. There's pressure and there's a lot of force happening, and perhaps that will be a reminder to take a breather, to reel it back and reevaluate and see perhaps that's you're just forcing too much or trying to do too much, that things are out of balance, and that's why you feel that way. Hustle, the word hustle itself, I feel like that's something that has been shoved down our throats, that in order for us to be successful, we must always be busy, we must always be doing something, we must be hustling, hustle. That's how you achieve the things that you want to achieve, where in reality the opposite is the truth. Because when you're hustling, when you're forcing, when you constantly feel like you're doing, you are going to either go into a breakdown, overwhelm, burnout, or you get sick, because you're forcing too much, you're doing too much. We're not supposed to be doing all the time. Think back of how humans used to live, how humans used to work when before this industrial world took over. They didn't have all the jobs that we have. They didn't have all these problems that we have. There were hunters, gatherers, cooks, and cleaning, taking care of the kids, and they had a lot of downtime. A hunter wouldn't go hunting every single day. He would do that, once a week? Hunt for maybe a whole day or maybe a few hours, collect a lot of this food, and then it would be cooked throughout, or once a week. And then everyone got to spend time with themselves and with each other. People felt a lot more connected because they were so much more connected. Whereas now we're so much more disconnected, even though we're connected throughout or with the whole entire world. We feel much more disconnected because there is not so much personal touch or personal connections with people. So we did not live our lives as hustlers. That is a man-made concept to create us a human. Just, the overview of what hustling leads us to. Even a lion doesn't go hunting all the time. Or lionesses, technically, the ones that are hunting for him. And this is where you will be able to have the feeling present and calm by slowing down. Just a little bit. Or a lot, depending on where you're at. Lisa said, you are as good as you get, or take something from it. That's all that matters. Yeah. Oh, 100%. You're as good. You are good as long as you get or take something from it. That's all that matters. Figuring out basically what's in it for you and what's not for you, and taking what you need from it, recognizing there's some things that you don't and some things that you do. And then Rebecca said, I avoid anxiety and stress. When we try to avoid anxiety and stress, it still finds us. The more we try to avoid something, the more we seem to experience that. So instead of trying to avoid it, sit with it, talk with it, and understand your anxiety, understand your stress, understand yourself, who you are and who you're being, and your programming that is telling you this is who you must be. And because anxiety is us trying to see some kind of a future or plan for the future, in which we're basing on the past experiences and our inability to see the past because the future, because the past has traumatized us. And in order for us to see the future, we must heal our past and our present. Anxiety is unhealed grief. And when we spend the time to heal our grief, our traumas, the things that we have gone through, and spend time understanding them, this is when we will be able to move forward and rewrite our mindset. Mindset is a bunch of stories, it's a bunch of interpretations. It's our thoughts, feelings, and emotions that are attached to our mindset, how we interpret and see the world, how we perceive our future to be, and we struggle to see our future. There are moments where we feel great and feel enormous amount of clarity and happiness, usually not joy, but happiness when we envision our future. But then when that moment passes and we're once again riddled with stress and anxiety, then that tells us that there's more work that needs to get done with our past. And that does not mean going and sitting in the past and dwelling in it and keep retelling the stories. No, it's spending time, just a little bit of time dipping in the past to understand who you were being, and then understanding who you are right now versus who you were. And this is where you'll start to shift your perception of yourself in the present that is no longer your past or who you were. So hopefully that helps a little bit more. Rebecca says, I've been living to be true to what I feel. I have not had a schedule for 6 years. It's taking a lot of effort to establish routines and consistency. I feel like this could be a whole entire conversation. But at the same time, last week that I did, this would be another video that might be helpful to rewatch, where having those schedules and routines is helpful for all of us. And not having one, this is where the anxiety and stress might be coming from as well, because it's the fear of unknown. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know how things are going to go, but having some structure, something that you're going to be doing every single day consistently, and knowing how certain things are going to go, it allows you to build the rest of your day around that. Lisa said, it's because we go nonstop. We can balance for the kids, but not ourselves. It is hard because we know it's good for us. It's all about redrawing. Yes, Yana. Yeah, we can do things for others, but not for ourselves. We do tend to go nonstop. This is where Rebecca was talking about hustle, 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 where we feel like we just need to go, 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 go. Otherwise, we're not good enough, we're not worthy, we're not achieving enough. That we should be doing more, Lisa said, reframing, not redrawing. And Lisa was responding to Rebecca's comment of, that hustle comment. That's exactly what it is. Okay, so we were on number 5, I believe. Number 5, embracing growth. When we start to embrace growth, when we see the problems in our life as challenges, because we're much more likely to accept the challenge than deal with the problem. When we see things as a challenge, when we see things as an opportunity for growth and evolution, we address it and we deal with it in a different way. Consistently engaging in self-improvement and personal development requires discipline and commitment and consistency. By prioritizing growth and learning, we expand our perspectives, evolve as individuals, and uncover new sources of joy and fulfillment along the way. So what I would also say is that when we feel burnt out, when we feel stressed, anxious, overwhelmed, lost, confused, sad, or depressed, just to name a few, the reasons for those might be because we don't spend enough time in personal development, which means that we need to learn something new. We need to put new information in our minds, in our brains, until we get that aha moment, until we create a new connection, a new neural pathway. And that's the aha moments. Until we feel re-energized and refueled. So listening to something, and then at the same time, it might be because you're doing too much of it. You're learning and learning and learning and not applying what you learn, even though that is a big part of what someone who's going through spiritual awakening is going to be doing. Is going to be learning and learning and learning. That's very typical. It's very normal. It's one of the blocks that spiritual awakening person will be going through, that it needs to come to a point where enough has been learned. You know enough. You do not need to spend any more time learning. Now you just need to apply what you learn. Apply what you learn. Be disciplined with your application process. You say you're going to do this, go and do it until you get the result that you want to get. Number 6, it helps you to enhance relationships. Your relationships improve and grow and evolve. Discipline and consistency extend beyond personal endeavors and also play a vital role in fostering healthy relationships. Whether it's showing up for loved ones, communicating effectively, openly, and lovingly, or nurturing connections, or consistency in our actions and behaviors, strengthens bonds and cultivates deeper level of joy and fulfillment in our relationships. How consistently are you showing up for the people that are important to you? And you know the ones that you want to show up for because they're the ones that are coming up for you right now. So I want you to sit with it. I want you to sit with it in a way of, why are you not showing up consistently? What is holding you back? And why do you want to show up consistently? And how do you want to show up consistently for those people in your life? And the last one I wanted to mention was, it allows you to create balance. Having discipline and consistency in your life every single day, it really allows you to create balance. Discipline and consistency help us maintain balance in our lives by prioritizing what truly matters to us, what truly matters to you. You're going to do those things that truly matter to you because they are a part of you. If exercise was important to you, you'd be doing that every day. And right now it might not be important to you, but one day it might be. And when it does become important to you, you'll be doing that every day because it will be a priority to you for reasons that only you will know why, because you will have created an entirely different, maybe not entirely different, but there will be a different mindset that you will have when it comes to exercise. Right now, it's not on the cards for exercise to be important to you. And until it is, the mindset will stay the same, and until you change it, and the way you change it is by understanding yourself, by questioning yourself and answering those questions, and not ignoring them. Ignoring them is normal. This is what everybody does, but I know you're not everybody. And I know that you answer the questions that you ask yourself, whether you want to answer them or not. By setting boundaries, managing our time effectively, and staying true to our values, we create space for joy, fulfillment, and overall well-being. So, it also helps you to build a meaningful life and find your purpose, or continue living your purpose as well. Just to name a few reasons why making discipline and consistency as part of your existence might be the very thing that you're looking for. Rebecca says, we need to be inspired. We get inspired by results. Oh, very well said. We do need to be inspired, and we do need to be motivated. And that's not something that just comes to us naturally. Most days, by doing the things that we don't want to do, there are days, of course, where I don't want to make the bed. I don't, because I'm tired. I'm not feeling well, or feeling overwhelmed, or drained, or just under the weather. There's too many things happening. My time story still comes up once in the blue moon when it comes to even a simple act of making the bed. It's just, it no longer has a hold on me. Just because it comes up does not mean I don't do it. It just means that's what I got to do right now. That's exactly what I need to do right now, because now I'm being challenged by my old programming, and it's a challenge, and I am going to be overcoming that challenge. The challenge is me. So I'm really overcoming myself. And that helps me to feel re-energized, motivated, and inspired. It's an internal job. We got to give that to ourselves and not wait for something outside of us that is going to motivate us or inspire us. So we got to take physical actions, or make a conscious choice to show up for ourselves, to do that thing that we don't want to do. And the moment that we feel like we don't want to do it, that's the moment to go and do it. So, that is all that I have for you beautiful ladies today. I'm looking forward to hearing from each and every one of you. What was your biggest takeaway from today's live guidance, this video that I have come up with and put together piece by piece, 7 little parts to share with you all, and what you're going to do with it. What are you going to do with your biggest takeaway today? Because there's something in there for you. But other than that, I just want to remind those of you who have been wanting and forgetting to check out and subscribe to my podcast, which is Get Your Shit Together with Yana Kasperczak, on your favorite podcast platform, which you can find the link on my personal profile. It's by itself and also in the Linktree link. And just as a reminder for those of you who've been wanting and just kind of putting it off, I'll do it later. Maybe right now is the later part. And other than that, watch the podcast, listen to the podcast, because it's also a video version available. There's questions at the end of each podcast as well to answer, so feel free to answer those. And until we see each other next time, next week on Monday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time for card reading with me, or next Thursday for another one of these weekly live guidance training of Get Your Shit Together with myself, Yana Kasperczak, where I'll have another topic for you all to talk and discuss to help you get your shit together in your life and in your business or career. Other than that, until we see each other next time, bye everybody. Hope you have an amazing weekend. Bye.